Good morning, everyone. It is actually not too cold. A bright and sunny day. We've chosen the right spot. And we are here in front of the Tinderbox in downtown Harrisburg to introduce a new program with SP Plus, which is going to make all of the loading zones that you see between Walnut Street and Pine Street 5 different zones, 8 total spaces in this, our pilot area, free for 15-minute parking for people that want to pop in, buy something, get a quick lunch, do whatever they need to do. It is in a spirit of cooperation with SP Plus and the Downtown Improvement District and downtown business owners that we have put this pilot together. We expect it to be incredibly well received and successful, and hopefully something that we will be able to roll out to other parts of the city sometime soon. I want to thank SP Plus. I want to thank in particular Nancy Kime, who I believe is behind me. We have been working together very closely over the past months to do whatever we can to improve the parking system and incorporate the feedback that we're hearing from the public. And this idea grew out of a series of business development meetings with businesses, with the city, with the downtown improvement, and with SP Plus as to what we could do to make it easier to support our businesses within the confines of this parking system. And I think it's a great, innovative idea, and I think there will be more such great, innovative ideas to come. We are currently engaged in a task force looking at the residential permitting issue, which I know is very important to residents, and that is something that we hope will lead to another announcement again in the not so distant future. But for today, we're talking about how we can make it easier for people to park, make a quick purchase, support the downtown, and the loading zone conversion idea is the idea. I want to also say, so this is going to be 15 minutes of free parking. To head off any questions, no, the 5-minute grace period does not apply to the 15 minutes of loading zone free parking, but the 5-minute grace period for meter parking is still very much in effect. And in addition to that, I want to also note that that we are continuing with those promotions that we achieved last year with SP Plus. That is namely the $2 rate for 5 to 7 and the Saturday Pango LUV HBG coupon for 4 hours of free parking. Those are continuing into the new year because they were so successful last year. I'd like to introduce next Nancy Kime. She can tell you a little bit more about how this came to be and maybe about some of the other promotions which Standard is doing right now to help make parking less expensive and easier for all of us in Harrisburg. So Nancy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Good morning. Thanks to Mark Jeanette of the Tinderbox for joining us today and the other local businesses. I also want to thank Jackie Parker and Devin Drabick from the city of Harrisburg for their time and efforts. SP Plus has enjoyed working with all of you to improve the downtown parking, and we look forward to continuing this relationship. In our meetings with the mayor and the local businesses, it is clear that downtown business rely heavy on customers who may only stop for a few minutes. SP Plus believes this pilot program will help steer more customers downtown. We are always open to working with the community and improving the parking. Since beginning our work in the city, SP Plus worked with businesses and the mayor's office on a number of changes to include the 5-minute grace period at all the parking meters, the lunch and brunch special at the River Street Garage right over there, the business employee parking program, and Love Harrisburg on Saturdays. We are excited to kick off this pilot program and hope it becomes a true benefit to downtown businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. And I think one of the things which this program shows is that we can innovate and we can change this parking system for the better. What we need are creative ideas, and one of the ways that we're going to get those creative ideas is by listening to the public and listening to business owners like Mr. Mark Jeanette here of the Tinderbox. It was really their idea to come up with a plan to make parking easier during the day, and the loading zones just seemed like the perfect fit. So let me introduce downtown business owner, Mr. Mark Jeanette.
Thank you, Mayor. This is really a great program that we've worked with SP on. I think this is the beginning of a lot of really, as the Mayor said, innovative and exciting things. to make the experience more convenient, more pleasurable for those folks that are coming here into town to work or to play. I had a lot of fun working with the folks from SP. We recognize them as partners in all of this, and I want to thank the mayor's office for facilitating the ongoing communication that we have. Once again, we're really looking forward to bringing some exciting things to this city this year, bring the people on back so that we can have a lot of fun, and we can't do it without the folks from SP and the mayor's office. Thanks again.
So in sum, we now have 8 new free 15-minute spaces right here in the heart of the downtown. If people want to come in, get a quick takeout order, buy something here from the Tinderbox or any of the other merchants, there's now the ability to do that. This again is a pilot program. We hope it will be well received and successful and able to spread out to other parts of the competitive parking district. And we look forward to that happening in the future, and we'd be happy to take any questions that you all have. Yes, Portia. It will be enforced by the regular walking patrols of SP Plus. Nancy, would you like to add
It'll
anything
be
to that?
enforced by the ambassadors that are currently on the street, just the way they're enforcing them now. They will enter a license plate into the handheld, and if they come back and that person is there after 15 minutes when they enter it again, then what will happen will a violation.
So if I park in the loading zone, do I go to the meter and do I put in anything or no? But how will someone know that I'm here for 15 minutes?
You put it in the handheld. The handheld. Yes.
You don't. It'll be up to our ambassadors
Right.
to note who is parking in the loading zones, make a notation in their handhold when they've noted that, and then 15 minutes after that time, if they're still there, they would be in violation. So no, you don't have to go to a meter. That's the wonderful thing. You can pull into the loading zone, you can do your business for 15 minutes, and then you can be on your way. You don't have to pay, you don't have to get out money, you don't have to get a credit card. The whole idea is to make it much easier for individuals.
Okay,
Now you can still park in a meter or in a garage at one of our specials if you want to stay for longer, but this is for the sort of quick transaction or the ease of doing a quick business, which I think is hampered by having to go through all the rigmarole of programming a meter.
So when the ambassadors are doing their normal patrol and they see a car in a loading zone, that's when they'll put it in the system.
That's right.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking that it could lead to discrepancies and people say, oh, no, I've been here for less than 15 minutes.
No, it'll lead, hopefully it'll lead to better interaction with our ambassadors on the streets and the public. Part of what they're trying to do is do some outreach. They're trying to be eyes and ears on the street. They're trying to be helpful to people in terms of helping them get directions on where they want to go, what they might want to shop. So it's going to be up to them to note who's parking there and to enforce that.
And it seems like this initiative would benefit, people like, will it benefit residents? Because typically, you stay in there longer than 15 minutes. I don't know if you all have,
Well, takeout orders, Porsche. I know I like to call the sandwich man and order myself a G5. And if you pre-order it, you can be in and out of there within 15 minutes. So I know you can do that. And if you want to see what the Tinderbox has to offer, you're a regular repeat customer, you know what you want, you can park in a loading zone and get it done in 15 minutes. But there are inexpensive options, including the some that Nancy had mentioned in the garages and in the meters. And remember, of course, we now have 4 hours of free parking still on Saturdays with the Pango Op. So there are ways to park that aren't particularly scary, that are cost effective, and we encourage everyone to come and see what the downtown has to offer.
Mayor, just to be clear on the enforcement aspect, it's 15 minutes from after an ambassador comes through and checks it, not necessarily...
It is a 15-minute loading zone. The practicality of that is that it is going to be a manual check by these ambassadors, and they're going to have to note when the car arrives and when the car leaves. But it is a 15-minute loading zone, and it is designed for a quick visit or a quick trip.
But someone theoretically could abuse that if an ambassador is not close to that.
Someone theoretically could not pay a meter and end up not getting a ticket because nobody gets around to ticketing them as well. But that's certainly not the spirit of what's going on.
So part of this is an honor code as well.
No, it's not an honor code. It is that it is going to be manually, and since there are no meters, So since the parker is not the one initiating the parking session, it is up to SB Plus to initiate the session, and they'll be doing that through their regular patrols.
Did you have to give
Yeah.
them back anything?
No, this has been a volunteer cooperative effort on the part of the city, the Downtown Improvement District, the businesses, and SP Plus. The city is not guaranteeing anything, and in fact, I think the motivation from SP Plus is to be a good community partner and to be responsive to the concerns of the public. And I think we all feel that the more we do that, the more money that the system's going to generate, because the more people that are going to come and park downtown. So doing something like this, ultimately, if it improves public perception of both parking and the downtown, is going to be good for business, good for the city, good for SP Plus, all in the long run.
Can you give us examples of where you got hurt by maybe a customer who would have come?
Certainly.
Come on up to the mic.
Yeah, certainly. I have a number of customers that come into my store on a monthly basis. They have standing orders. And during that time, I also have an opportunity to show them new merchandise or to talk to them about their existing merchandise. I've noticed that since this whole program, since the Harrisburg Strong Plan has been in effect, we've all faced numerous challenges. And of course, my customers are coming in anxious. They're looking outside, make sure that one of the ambassadors isn't putting a ticket. It's not a comfortable situation. And of course, I'm losing money. People are not even bothering to come in and pick up some of these orders until later, or if I make arrangements on Saturdays. Another thing that I wanted to say is that SP and we also talked about some lines of delineation here to make these loading zones a little more apparent to those that might not be familiar with the new program. They're going to go along and paint the curbs white so that they'll be clearly marked. I think that'll make a big difference as well.
Will there be signs that says 15-minute loading zones, or?
There are.
The signs are already up there, the blue signs, that's correct.
So before, would you see people who were stopping to get takeout, get tickets?
I personally did not, but I know it's happened. I've heard it. I hear a lot of things from people, just being right here on 2nd Street, and I know that it's been an issue. We want to work through these issues. That's the important thing, and we have the cooperation. And I want everybody to understand that these people are great to work with, they're willing, and their success and our success are all related.
Mayor,
Yeah,
how
and
long
let me
do you-
just, if I could say, the particular type of business here at the Tinderbox, but we also heard from restaurants. And the takeout business that these restaurants do is very important to their bottom line. They were pushing for this change, and there are a lot of great restaurants with takeout options, not just the Sandwich Man. We got Cafe Fresca, we've got Arugas, any of them. So really, part of the plan was to initiate and support takeout from the restaurants. Part of it was to help standing orders, like standing customers of the Tinderbox, to sort of know what they want, and they just want to get in and out quickly. Okay. Yes.
I'm sorry. How long do you anticipate this pilot program lasts?
We talked about that, and I would say a matter of at least a couple of months. But we are hopeful that it will pay dividends quickly, and that's and that what will happen after that point is that we will expand the program. So we're gonna start collecting data now. So I would say to the public, if you like innovative programs like this and changes, come out and support it. Come see what the Tinderbox has to offer, and park for 15 minutes free in the loading zone, and come appreciate and support the downtown.
The data that you mentioned, is that just a matter of checking in with the businesses along 2nd Street
Yes.
and seeing if business has gone up?
The data, we have a great value. Our businesses are the best data providers we have. And I think checking in with the business owners, I think checking in with the business owners is exactly what we need to be doing. And it's something that we can always do a better job of. I want to say that the city and the Downtown Improvement District together have been really working hard to do that. We have this downtown business group which meets regularly. It's a working group. It comes up with solutions like this. And yes, that's the best feedback and the best data that we can get.
When does this take effect? Now? Today?
It takes effect now. Yes.
Checking in with the businesses, how many have gone under because of parking issues in the business?
Well, you know, businesses come and go, and there has certainly been a negative narrative that has come with the parking changes, which has not helped the business climate, and that's what we're trying to change. And I think Standard is working really hard to try and change that narrative. I think we have shown last year with the changes that we achieved, now with this program, with the specials that have been rolled out and the grace period, that everybody is working to change that narrative and empower businesses and make this parking system work for everyone. They're saying, come down to Harrisburg and get some takeout and try these free 15-minute loading zones. That's what they're saying. There are 8 of them. Can we point to them from here?
There's the ones down there in Walnut.
Yeah. But it is basically from Walnut to Pine. 5 loading zones, 8 spaces, and they are going to be painted and delineated a little more brightly so people can see them. But they're all marked with signs now that say loading zone 15
Will they still
minutes.
function as loading zones as well?
Yes, they can still function as loading zones. So I don't know how often, Mark, like your business would have deliveries or that the loading zone would even be used.
You got a parcel service?
A little bit,
Yes,
right.
yes.
But that's only a small part of the day, and the question was, well, why can't we utilize these spaces for the rest of the day? Especially when it's, you know, when the parking is filled the rest of the street and you see all these empty loading zone spaces. It seemed like a natural thing to do.
And they're controlled by standard parking under the asset transfer.
The parking enforcement is done by the ambassadors of standard parking. Yes, SP+.
The data that you mentioned, is it going to be also the meter usage to see if that goes up, or you're just talking about?
I'm sure that'll be monitored, but I think the most important data is going to be what we hear from our businesses and what we hear from the public. And if the loading zones are utilized, I think that's what everybody wants to see happen.